It's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas, live from Milberger's Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Bulverde Road. During the next 2 hours, our experts will help you with your gardening questions when you call 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. Or come by Milberger's during the show and have your question answered in person. And now it's time for Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome to Milberger's Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Milton Glueck with Mark Peterson and Dr. Calvin Finch on a cloudy day. Oh, I got to get the weather up.
Oh, but it's not.
No, tonight.
Tonight, I know. 20%. Has it gotten any better? Please tell me it's still 20.
No, it's still 20.
Ah, rats.
22.
22%? Oh, boy. What's that, Thursday?
Yeah. But the
Trace
big
is
day,
saying Wednesday or Thursday is a big day.
Big day is Thursday.
It's Thursday. Cool. Well,
somebody actually told me it was drizzling this morning, and I was like, where are you?
Yeah, where were they? Yeah.
Near some flock birds, maybe?
Well, you got a few milkweeds here right now, Trace.
A couple hundred. I'm not sure that's...
Yeah. Oh, there at least 3 different sizes. I've seen.
That's the nice thing, the different sizes. Now, yesterday we had... I saw somebody with like 2.5 feet.
Yeah, there are a few of those.
There was a small handful of 3-gallon that came in on Tuesday. There might be a couple of those left.
There's some 1-gallon over there that got blooms.
Those aren't there anymore. Those are over here now.
Oh, they're over here.
Yeah.
But they're still there. They're still available.
They're still available.
And then there's some huge, look like they've had super 1959 fertilization over here with big leaves and everything.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're beauties.
Yeah. And mistflower.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
So
ready to bloom.
Let's talk about that new Texas superstar.
What?
What makes it special? What?
Oh,
Greg's. Is it the blue mist?
We're talking about butterflies and the nectar plants.
Okay, we'll keep talking.
You want to see Calvin get excited?
Yeah.
Calvin, there might be a few porterweed this week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God, he fell.
I mentioned that I thought I saw one, but I couldn't follow up.
One grower said he had 25 available. We'll see if I get those 25 or not.
What color were they? Different?
I didn't pay that much attention. I think it was the dwarf red.
Oh gosh, that's unbelievable.
Is that the one you like the more?
Yeah.
Purple?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's spectacular.
Has a better habit.
Better habit?
Yeah. It grows.
It's
It
not
has
as
better
wild.
shape.
Oh,
Shape.
okay.
Yeah, and it blooms from when you start with it all the way through the fall. You know, like the purple does a real good job in the fall, but not as good in the spring. But that red is blooming constantly. Well, just before we turn Milton loose.
No, I'm just keep talking.
The other all-star nectar plants, the zinnias, and of course the mistflower. I noticed Trace was pointing out the lantanas to one person. They're the all-star in the fall. But gosh, we got a lot of choices. Well, have we got any pentas left?
A handful. There's probably 12, 15 flats on the table.
You think there are that many flats?
There were this morning when I was walking around by myself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, look at
the best time.
It's so sad.
It's the best time to place my orders. There's
okay.
No interruptions.
Okay.
If you want a really spectacular plant for the shade and a complex plant, read that in the article about the penta. And Mark and I spent a lot of time yesterday talking about it. But it is it's one of the all-star nectar plants, but it also has unusual shade tolerance that you can put it in that glaring sun for a couple hours and then go back into the shade, and it blooms constantly from the start to the finish. If you get too much shade,
no, it doesn't. Perform as well. So a little sun will help it out.
That's right. It needs some sun for it to, at least in my experience,
do you
for
remember
it to do well.
Do? A little dab will do you.
Little dab will do you. Little sun will do you. Yeah, sun's fighting to come out here. It's got sunny now. Behind you. You can't see it.
Okay.
The temperature is so nice, too.
Yeah, the temperature's very nice.
And there's not much wind.
I asked Alexa this morning what the weather was, so I do that every morning to decide whether I'm going to wear shorts or pants.
Whether to decide what now?
Whether I'm wearing shorts or long pants.
So the weather forecast. Where'd it go? Come on.
Possibility of rain after 6.
7. That's correct.
Okay.
7 to 10 was a bullseye, but it was only 20%. So
Yeah, it's
And everything's great as long as it's always after 6.
Oh,
Today it can be after 5. But
okay, that's right. So it can come earlier today. That's nice, you Trace. Kind of letting it, do its thing.
Yeah.
210-308-8867. Had some great calls yesterday. We'd love to hear from you today. 210-308-8867. What else, Calvin? What else did you want to... Because I interrupted you before. I don't want to do that again.
Well, I'm looking at the begonias over there. They are another... If you got a kind of a speckled shade, a partial shade area that you want to fill up, you got lots of choices on at least 3 different colored leaves and at least 3 different colored blooms, and they can put up with a little sun too. Now, I suspect we'll get the whoppers in soon, but Trace is not looking at me.
Not this week, Calvin. I don't know about next week, but not this coming week.
But
I did find some dragon wing.
Oh.
In small pots.
Those are cool.
Those might materialize Thursday or Friday.
Well, I had a question from a listener on the whoppers. He had the same experience I did, and Milton and I talked about this a lot, where the freeze killed them back, but they're starting to come up from the base.
Talking to Mike so we can hear you.
They're starting to come up in the base. And just when I'm getting to like him, he irritates the hell out of me.
Well, we can't hear you. We'd like to hear you.
Well, you ignore me, so it doesn't matter.
Poor Calvin.
But the thing about he asked, well, should he buy new ones or will these turn out fine? And I said, gosh, they'll recover really quickly. Yeah, and he wondered if
you're not a retailer.
Yeah.
Buy new ones.
Well, I'll argue with that, Trace, because I think the thing about Milbergers is that we encourage everybody to be successful and get the best buys on their plants.
There's always places to plant more.
Yeah. Then the other thing you asked was about fertilization, and we really don't think much about fertilization with the begonias, but never hurts for a little osmocote in those things that are resprouting, and or a regular pattern of Miracle Grow or something too. That would really perk them up. Are yours still going? Yours are still going.
I got to get them now back in the ground or back in a bigger pot.
Yeah,
I protected them for the cold, but yeah, they're kind of like, dude, bruh, put us in a big pot. That's what they say to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all hip.
Kind of in a Hawaiian type of, hey, bro.
Bruh. Yeah. So
is the Canadian accent next?
Yeah.
My wife, no matter what accent I do, she goes, that's not Sean Connery. Sean Connery is not Jamaican. So apparently I do not do good accents. But that's cool. Yeah, the begonias are a treat. And I remember the dragon wing. Hopefully they'll come in. That'll be fun. I planted Cumberbatch, the cucumber.
Did you separate them or did you put them all together?
What you mean? Oh, I just want
you
the
had
one.
a clump. Yeah,
I just had the one.
Yeah, but it was a clump. There were three.
Oh, that's right. There
plants.
were. No, I put them together. I didn't think about separating them.
You could have, but they'll do fine.
I still could, I guess.
Yeah, but they'll still do fine.
Should I not separate them?
No.
Okay.
You're likely to kill half of them or all of them.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to leave it. Yep, the Cumberbatch is in ready to roll. I got a little vine for him to crawl up, or a little trellis type thing. So we'll see what happens.
That'll be neat.
And I forgot what we named the zucchini. I think it was Zooey. Poor Trace. If you could, we need to have this on camera, because if you could see Trace just roll his eyes in exasperation.
I'm just wondering, did you name them or did your wife?
She named them.
Okay. All right. Well, then I can't make fun of her.
I was going for, since zucchini is a squash, I was going for Sasquatch, but that got nixed.
I'm thinking with zucchini, I may want to go with an Italian name.
I didn't think of it.
zucchini. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so they're all been planted. I'm excited, and I'm trying to think. I haven't checked my strawberries lately.
Did you? I think Mark counted the number of peppers out there. I was out
Oh
there.
yeah,
it's
I bet we got a lot.
Yeah,
you got some.
You'd have to have a reference. There were so many different varieties.
Well, yesterday I counted 7 different varieties.
Both
people
hot,
have been
both hot and sweet.
Yes, both hot. So we had habanero, Bell, Anaheim,
Well, Aladdin Bell too.
banana. So I didn't see the serranos, but I'm sure they were out there.
No, there weren't.
No.
So
okay.
no serranos last week. No serranos this week.
Okay. Nothing
Although
coming?
theoretically, we should have some jalapeno hot and jalapeno grande.
Oh, good.
Theoretically.
Which is the hot, is the grande different or just a bigger?
Grande is more, I think it's more mild.
Milder? Okay.
But it's a attractive plant and
Yeah.
a productive plant.
And am I correct that for the most part, peppers are kind of forgiving, especially not green peppers, but like the...
The smaller the pepper, the easier it is to do.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Hotter they can take. I mean, the weather.
So I was asking myself, forgiving for the normal gardener or for...
For me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it is. But that chili piquin or patine,
Yeah.
that falls in line with Trace was just saying. The smaller the pepper, the more forgiving.
Oh, and I accidentally left Pepper Nick's peppers here. Did you find them and enjoy them? They were.
Oh yes, I saw them in there.
Okay, cool. Are they still there? Or did you?
I have not tried one today.
Okay.
I think I'm going to wait till I can have some beer with it.
Oh, that's smart. You can mix it with eggs. That'd be good.
That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Then I got to tell my wife to cook some eggs.
Okay, maybe I'll grab one when
And
you're not
I'll put
looking.
some in it, and I won't tell her. She doesn't like hot stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't tell her. But she might enjoy it. Maybe I don't know.
She can tolerate a jalapeno every once in a while.
Okay. All right. 210-308-8867. Give us a call. Tell us what's going on. 210-308-8867. Now, just to maybe bring you guys some excitement, this evening, chance of showers and thunderstorms between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m.
That's perfect.
That's okay for you.
Okay.
What chance? 20?
Ready?
Yeah.
Chance of precipitation? 30%.
Wow.
I know.
Oh, amazing.
I know.
You're a glass half full.
Yeah, I know. I'm the optimist.
Well, no, it's only a third full.
A third full,
You're
yeah.
a glass third full. Okay, all right. I get it.
I was an English major. I don't know about this math stuff.
Tree will never die. There's always a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Can I talk? Can I get sentimental, if you will?
Well, you're halfway in charge.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
you can almost do what you want.
okay. Well, I'm gonna almost do this. So this is the beauty of San Antonio. Oh, two things. 3 things. Okay. Whew, I'm exhausted. And one. So I went walking early this morning. This is a San Antonio. This is like, I know it's not only in San Antonio, but it feels like it. So it was before the sun came up. It was dark. It was still. And I'm walking down the street, getting in my steps, and there's a super sweet smell. And I know it's mountain laurel. And there, I cannot see a mountain laurel anywhere near. It's just that strong. And it's wonderful. And I guess because the air was still, it kind of hung there maybe a little bit more, or no?
Well, it had to be around, or you had to have some wind. One of the two.
Yeah. Well, there was no wind.
If there was no wind, it had to be closer. Because
it was dark, so I couldn't see what it was, where it was.
You didn't
I guess
trample over bushes or anything like
No.
that? Looking for? Oh.
No, I was in the street.
Guess it's too early for the one that blooms and fragrant at night.
Serious?
Jasmine?
He's talking about the Noche, the night blooming jasmine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was wonderful, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it's such a treat because it's such a short.
But you know what is in
Time
bloom, or at least here?
Yes.
Is sweet olive.
Oh, that
Yeah.
doesn't smell like mountain laurel. does
No,
it?
but it is sweet and can travel distances. And in the morning when the blooms open is when
Yeah.
it's most fragrant.
Oh, maybe. I guess it could have been that, but no, I think it was Mountain Laurel. But anyway.
Did it smell
Okay.
like grape Kool-Aid?
What's that? Yeah.
Okay,
that
well,
sweet
it's
Mountain Laurel
different.
smell. It was wonderful. And it lasted a whole yard walking in front of from the one end of it to the other end to the driveway. But yeah, it was great. Let's see. Oh, number 2, I drove up to 46 yesterday, up 281. And if you're looking for bluebonnets, if you're trying to get your bluebonnet fix, all along 281, great bluebonnets. First, I saw the purple one that we always see out in Wilson County. Is that? I want to say it's not verbena. What is
It's verbena.
Oh, it is verbena. Wow.
Yeah, sand
My
or
memory's better
prairie
than I thought.
verbena. The purplish one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of those, and then all of a sudden, bluebonnets. So if you've got a bluebonnet or a wildflower report, you can call us at 210-308-8867. Let's hear about it. But, yep, if you're looking for
Well, there were a lot of customers were picking up bluebonnets here this morning.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
My little guy in the abatement, is that what we had?
No, easement.
Easement, okay. He's doing okay. Got some water today and stuff.
What,
So
just one? I thought you planted a 6-pack.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Too soon?
And, yeah, it's too soon. Yes.
Okay.
All right. 210-308-8867. Let's see. Oh, got one of the Jameses on the line at 210-308-8867. He wants to talk tomatoes. Hi, James. Welcome to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas. How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. It ain't raining yet, but maybe.
And what part of the world are you in?
Guadalupe County.
How about you? Are you getting any wildflowers that you're seeing?
I don't think the weeds could get any deader than they are right now.
Oh, okay. I'm taking that as a no. Okay.
Well, maybe after tonight.
Maybe after tonight. Yeah, we'll have to hope for that rain. Okay. Yes, sir. What's up with your tomatoes?
The old timers say, if you listen to them, the time to transplant the tomatoes is when Japanese persimmons are budding out and starting to bud out. Well, guess what?
Yeah?
The Japanese persimmons are starting to bud out.
Well, that's consistent with our April 1st day, too, or after March 15th. So all those are pretty consistent recommendations. Now, how about your tomatoes? I guess you had them sheltered so that the wind didn't terrorize them?
Oh, it's totally tomatoes over here, man. They take better. We care for them tomatoes better than we care for our stepchildren.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
But
Okay, so what kind of tomatoes are you thinking of planting?
Oh, I'm not thinking they're already planted.
Okay, they're in. What kind you
Celebrity
got?
Plus is in the hoop house. Big Beef Plus set out this morning in the field undercover. It's called a Smart Net, Calvin. It keeps the wind from blowing them all to, you know what.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, because we're getting a lot of questions on. It was hard unless you if you drug them in the house out of the wind, or put them in the back of your station wagon or SUV. But still, you had to get them out in the sun, and they had to get. It was really a tough spring for tomatoes, transplant tomatoes, and potted up tomatoes.
If you don't have a not windy, sunny place, you better make one, is all I can say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you're going to have a maximum crop, for sure.
Grandma used to take them out. She had her transplants in a little wheelbarrow, and she'd take them out and put them in the not windy, sunny place, and then in the evening she'd roll them back in the garage. And she taught me everything I know about tomatoes.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
And that's that's probably really good advice from her.
We did the same thing for the seeded milkweeds, too, to keep. We want them in the the sun, and but we don't want them where the squirrels get at them or the queen butterflies get at them. So it really does work in a wagon, or, of course, you need a lot of wheelbarrows and a lot of wagons. So did Chief probably for her tomatoes.
She had one of them wheelbarrows that was almost all rusted out at the bottom and had that little wheel on it.
Yeah.
And squeaked, and she used to run them out in the day and then, put them up at night. And she would sometimes, if she planted early and it got cold, she would go out and put their blankie on them.
And is that the same blanket she made you use when you visited?
And did she read him a story and leave him a nightlight on just in case?
You better watch out. Them grandmas are pretty rough, man. they know what they're doing.
There's priorities and then there's priorities.
Yeah, she started with them. What did she start with? She started with Spring Giants, and then she got it going on them celebrities. And she used to say that's the best tomato I ever ate. So that's all I know about that.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, celebrity's still a favorite of a lot of folks.
Is James in Guadalupe County, is he near your presentation?
No, we're at Floresville and New Braunfels.
Okay, well, I knew New Braunfels.
Well, actually, it's relatively close.
Yeah.
He's close to New Braunfels.
Oh, is he? Okay. All right. Well, James, you can. We'll take a break and then we'll tell you about Calvin's milkweed presentation coming up. Thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
You and I go with those old timers. They knew what they were doing. Just like when they said it before it rains, the Texas sage blooms. No, because you're not old enough.
Oh, okay.
We're talking real old timers.
Oh, okay. All right.
These were people Paul thought were old timers. Paul Cox.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, 210-308-8867. Hey, don't forget, at 1 o'clock, we're going to talk to Dr. Charles Hall about gardening and mental health. Is it good or bad for you? We'll find out.
Well,
at 1 o'clock on 9:30 a.m.
If he's the...
Welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Hey, a reminder, lots of things happening with family and stuff, or maybe you and the guys are getting together to watch March Madness or whatever you're doing. You want to make sure you're serving them good food, and you can make sure you're serving them good food by making sure you're going to Prusky's Market over there in Atkins, Texas. If you're going to be doing some grilling, take some ideas to Prusky's and say what you're going to do. And they will help you find just the perfect thing, whether it's brisket or steaks or burgers, something simple. Or maybe you're going to do turkey burgers. Trace has given me the big no on that one. Or maybe you're going to do sausage. How's that? Better?
There you go. Better.
Okay. They've got the kashishko. They've got the brat. They've got the Calvin's potato, the Texan potato sausage. All of them made right there at Prusky's. You've got excellent tasting poultry. If you're looking for good chicken, maybe you're going to make chicken fajitas, or whatever you're going to do. Or maybe you're going to smoke something, or ham for Easter. Maybe you're going to do something like that. Head on over to Prusky's in Atkins, Texas. You will not be disappointed. Terrific people, outstanding. Well, what are you doing?
No, I was just telling her to get Trace out of the way by hitting with a hose handle.
But anyway, you won't be disappointed. You'll love the service, and you'll be back time and time again. Check them out online at PruskysMeatMarket.com. That's PruskysMeatMarket.com. All right, 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Or look at all these people here. Come on by with Milberger's. Hang out with your gardening peers. We're going to find out, actually, why gardening. Well, I can't. I don't want to. I want to make it a tease, so I won't say anything. So never mind.
Why gardening is helpful?
We don't know. It may
healthy.
not be. It may not be.
We know that it is because Mark and I participated in
And-
some of the research.
And you're like 90? How old are you
Yeah,
now?
105. 105.
You're 105, Mark?
Not a day older than 105.
But anyway.
Old as dirt.
Nice pun. Nice pun. Okay, Trace, so sometimes, Calvin, anything you want to bring up?
I do.
Oh, you would.
I do. When
Mark has something. Sorry, Calvin.
Trace is here.
Yes, Trace is
So
here.
we have the hybrid teas.
We do.
Roses. that
Those came in on Thursday.
Do you remember some of the varieties that we got? You know, I remember in my youth, everyone wanted Mr. Lincoln.
Well, I know that one should be out there.
Yeah, it should. So, do we have
That's
some?
a pretty one.
Yeah.
I couldn't verify that 100%.
Okay.
I know it was ordered,
Okay.
and they generally send me half and this time, and then my other half shows up second week of April.
So, do you know any of the varieties we have out there?
Not.
I didn't want to get my
I ordered
hands
them
and knees.
7 months ago.
Okay.
So I've slept a few times
No
since then.
problem. Then. But anyway, the
Just a
hybrid
few.
teas are out there, and if you want a nice rose.
Yeah.
And they're on the verge. They're going to bloom quickly.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh,
the,
wow,
the-
really?
The buds are tight, but ready to swell. The buds are swelling, so they're ready to bloom.
And then there's some still of the
Oh.
old-fashioned and tough modern roses out there too. And some of those folks that bought them early, they are blooming in the landscapes right now, and they're spectacular. And they also got a very long bloom period, and don't have to prune them, don't have to spray for pesticides usually. So that's if you want to try some roses. Get your favorite of these hybrid teas, of course, but go to get some of the colors. But try some of those tough modern roses or those old-fashioned roses.
And we do have a QR code out there that kind of separates them. Well, they're actually separated by color, but the QR code has a little asterisk next to certain varieties, and that dictates that they have fragrance. For those of us who don't smell so good anymore.
Some
Remember
goods that
was-
aren't 95 years old. They can't.
Yeah, we were having the discussion for the last couple of weeks.
Now, another one of Trace's favorites, it started to bloom out there in the landscapes, the Lady Banks. Lady Banks rose is out there blooming, starting to bloom now. And that is really an interesting rose.
It's spectacular when it gets going.
And it just fits. Of course, I always bring this story up. I got one that's out in full sun, and it just has this mounding shape, perfect what you'd expect. And then I've got one that got buried under the mesquite and live oak trees, but still blooms because it's found its way 35
Yeah,
feet
it's
out to the sun.
Going up the trunks
Yeah.
or the major limbs and
Yeah,
poking its head out.
and white or yellow. And that's another tough rose. Mine has been in place in the landscape longer than I have, and they
200 years.
They will last. Yeah, they will last forever, and they're very easy. To
BC or AD?
Before Calvin.
No, that wasn't where I go on.
Oh, okay.
Yes, before Calvin.
All right. 210-308-8867.
Two spouses, I think.
And I will tell you, Dr. Charles Hall, this is why I brought that up, is going to join us at 1, hopefully. It's radio, so in live radio. You never know. But, yeah, we're going to talk about...
I wish you guys hadn't worn those orange shirts for his visit.
Yeah.
I wear orange almost every day,
Yeah.
Calvin.
We're going to talk about mental health and how gardening impacts it.
There.
Okay.
So,
You
I'll count.
got your maroon on?
You'll be okay. I don't
He
have
covered
it.
it up, though. So it
Oh,
doesn't-
yeah, and he did kind of
maybe
cover
a
it. He's
little.
not proud. He's not a proud Aggie. All right, we're going to talk to another James now at 210-308-8867.
Trace seems to attract those Jameses.
Tabasco pepper plant question. Oh, and a hummingbird question, so we're cool.
Cool.
What's going on, James?
Hey, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. Hey, listen, I had an encounter this morning that was
dear.
kind of odd to me, or peculiar. Well, odd, same thing. I was filling my bird bath with a garden hose, and on the opposite side of the bird bath, the water streaming from the hose into the bird bath. On the opposite side come a really large, to me, a large hummingbird, larger than the black chins I have around, abundance of. And he's sipping out of the bird bath while I'm filling it at the same time. But what I noticed about this hummingbird, Well, it had a dark head, gray body, like a black chin, but it had a really wide or tall, symmetrical, dark purple band all the way around its neck. Is that a black chin or is that something else?
I don't know. We'll have to have one of the. We've got some
really
bird watchers that listen, and some real experts that operate in Mitchell Lake.
It
wasn't the green, the ruby throat. It was a purple.
It's
color.
purple. It was a very distinct purple, wide band all the way around its neck. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, let's do this, James. Let's see if we get a reply from a listener, and if not, we'll go check out some of the resources. We got lots of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked online. I couldn't find anything. I didn't look very long. Just real quick.
I'm looking too. I see the purple-chested hummingbird online. You probably saw that.
Oh, but
that one I've never heard of. Yeah.
This was the neck, violet crown.
The neck.
Yeah. But you said it had white on it?
Well, the body was grayish, but it did have the black head, similar to like the black chin. But the neck was distinctly purple band, wide band.
Oh, maybe. I wonder if this is it. There's the violet-crowned hummingbird.
That may be.
Fairly large, slender hummingbird. Slender hummingbird.
Does it say anything about range?
With white throat. About what?
Range? Where?
Hold on. Let me see. Let's see. White throat and iridescent purple head. Male and females look alike, often visits hummingbird feeders. It doesn't say anything about it yet. Oh, where do violet-crowned hummingbirds live? Fairly common in Mexico. It is uncommon. Oh, James, and local.
Boy, James, it looks like you've got it there.
And was not found breeding there until 1959.
And what is it called?
Check this one out. Violet-crowned hummingbird. See if that's
crowned.
Okay,
I'll look that up. I'll look that up. Oh.
And have been occasionally seen in Texas, but mostly Mexico.
Yeah.
Is that right? I'll look that up in a minute. Okay.
Sounds great.
I like hot peppers, but not too hot. And I had a fellow shopper in the grocery store had a cart full of tomatoes and peppers, and we struck up a conversation, and he convinced me to grow a Tabasco, which I always thought was real hot, and he told me it wasn't, and I'm not real fond of Tabasco sauce. But anyway, he talked me into, and I got a Tabasco pepper. How big of a container do I need to grow that in? I've never grown one, and how big do they get?
I don't know the Tabasco.
Yeah.
I like Tabasco, but I've never grown the pepper.
I'm with you, James. I'm not a big Tabasco fan.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming it's going to get no bigger than 2 and maybe 18 inches wide.
Okay. I was looking this morning before the show came on. I got a stash of old nursery black pots of different sizes, and I got several. I think they don't say what size they look like. They're like 3 gallon. Do you think that's big enough, or should I go something larger?
That would be the smallest.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the small range.
5 gallon would be more comfortable.
5 gallon
or larger. Yeah, if you had a 15 gallon, that would be really attractive. And would provide a good reservoir for it.
Okay, all right. I'll look. I got all different sizes. I'll look for something bigger than what I picked out. That's why I called, because I was going to put it in a 3 gallon, but I wasn't sure if that'd be big enough. I don't know how big the plant gets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet it would survive in a 3 gallon, but I don't think it would prosper.
I'm much more comfortable with a 5.
Okay, and at planting time, I still have some Osmocote Plus. Should I add that into the potting soil? Would you
Absolutely.
think? Okay, will do. Thank you. Okay, that's called say the hummingbird again, Milton, please.
Hold on, let me find it. Violet-crowned hummingbird.
Violet crown. All right, I'm going.
And James, you'll have to call back and tell us if that's it. And right, James, it's going to rain tonight, right?
I don't know.
No, come on, be positive. We're going to make it rain.
I cleaned out my rain gauge. I'll tell you that.
Oh, there you go. Now wash the car, please.
Could you go wash your car real quick?
No, I'm waiting for the oaks to pass. My oaks haven't all leafed out yet, so my truck is already yellow, and it's going to be brown pretty soon.
What are the birds that are pooping on our car that eat the berries? I can never remember their name.
Cedar waxwings?
Cedar waxwings, yeah. I saw them again this morning. But that's what I do. Every time I wash my car, they come in to fill it full of excrement.
All right, I'm going to wash my truck. I don't care. I got to make it rain. And James, you got any wildflowers in your neck of the woods?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Milton. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
right now. I walked by, and I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like there's two now. No, there's just one. I have an Indian paintbrush at the base of my Choctaw pecan where I've been watering.
Oh,
That's my own
wow.
wildflower.
Wow.
Do you have any?
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Do you have
Just
any
one.
of the blue? Oh gosh,
Blue curl?
blue curl. Yeah. Do you have any of the blue curl? They should be starting to bloom now too.
I'm not familiar with that one. I don't see anything out there. Just a little bit.
That's one of those that we're promoting as a nectar plant, and it grows in the sun or shade. Really spectacular. Latch onto some seed, or if you remember, I'll collect some seed for you.
Okay, blue curl.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
All right. All right.
Thank you,
I'm
James.
being attacked by two hummingbirds here. I'm too close to the feeder. All right.
the hummingbirds love the blue curl too.
Oh, see, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
Tell us what you find out.
Violet capped, you said, or violet crowned?
Violet
Hummingbird.
crowned.
For crown.
Violet crowned.
Crowned.
I said cat.
Violet.
Boy, I'd like to see that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to look it up. All right.
Thank you, sir. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
We're going to take a quick break. While we do, you give us a call, 210-308-8867, 210-308-8867. More of Millburgers Gardening, South Texas, coming up with Mark Peterson, Dr. Calvin Finch. Your calls right after this on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. Our phone number, 210-308-8867. But the sun has come out. The wind is there. It's still a very pleasant day here at Millburgers at 1604 on Boulevardy Road. And we encourage you to come on out amongst your gardening peers and do some shopping. Everybody's out here today. So come on out. We didn't, before we throw it back to you, Trace, talk a little bit about David Rodriguez. He's going to be here next Saturday.
Yeah, I believe he's talking about veggies.
Yes, sir. He's going to be talking about vegetables. It's a free workshop. Millburgers, Calvin pointed this out yesterday. Millburgers goes through a lot of trouble to make sure that as a customer, your gardening experience is a good one. And they really become a partner with you. Like we have the free seminars, or in Calvin's free seminars.
Successful people keep doing it.
Yep.
Unsuccessful people stop.
Yeah, that's a good point. So we want to help you be successful, and that's why we have these monthly seminars. David comes in just about every month.
Except for when it's hot.
Oh, okay. David doesn't
During
do
the
heat?
growing season.
Well, David's
usually
kind of
good.
old for coming in when it's hot.
Oh, now David's going to be upset and call us. But, we talked to him yesterday. And
David can't be as old as me because he was my intern for a while.
oh, was he really? I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
that. How about that? But, yeah, David's
right
going to be
up there with Judas.
What's that?
Oh, it was a bad joke.
Oh, okay. The from 10 to 11:30.
Mark heard it.
Mark heard it? Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's free. Just come on out to Millburgers. You don't have to sign up. Don't have to do anything, but just come on out. So put it on your calendar and learn all about vegetable growing in San Antonio from David. And I'm really curious. One of the questions, that's why I lost my train of thought, I'm going to ask Dr. Hall, is if there's a difference in terms of mental health relationship between, say, being a gardener that grows flowers and stuff and being a gardener that grows vegetables.
That'd be an interesting question.
Smells can be quite calming.
Smells are calming? Okay.
Or alarming, depending on the smell.
Oh, true. It's true. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I was trying to think. But, yeah, okay, so that's coming up. David's coming up. Go to millburgernursery.com where you'll see all the details for that, millburgernursery.com, plus what's on sale right now.
Well, it makes...
Do we know that person?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
It makes a difference
Yes.
on your. We definitely know it makes a difference on your success at school.
Yeah, he pointed that out in his article, too. That and actually, not only success in schools. Well, I'm giving it away, but success in schools seems to be a portion of a bigger impact on children and adolescents.
Yeah.
So don't give it away. We'll
Okay.
talk about that at 1:00.
Yeah, because you'll find one of the key factors is an interesting fact. We won't mention it, but it's a surprising contribution to that success in school.
Oh yeah, no, we'll talk about it
Why
with
is
him.
it success in school?
No, we can talk about it with him. That's a great one.
Yeah.
210-308-8867 is our number. I was going to tell Trace was here, but I'll say it anyway. Kiowa, as you come up, the Kiowa blackberries are blooming, and they're beautiful. I've never really
out in the
attention.
back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you seen them?
No.
Okay,
No,
you got
I
to
have
see
to
'em.
look on the way.
There's
on my way back to
maybe
my
a
Is that
quarter-
the ones without the thorns, or is that the ones with the
I can't remember.
All-Star?
Natchez? No. Yeah, no, Kiowa is without
Kiowa's
thorn.
no thorn?
Yeah.
Okay. But the bloom
Yeah,
is a
it's
big
a-
pink bloom, about quarter size, maybe $50.
Well, and for the fruit too is spectacular.
Oh,
It's
is it?
large. I always find it sweet compared to the Brussels, of course. Anything
What
is
kind
sweet.
do you grow? I know you grow blackberries, don't you?
Yeah,
I
Brussels.
used to.
Yeah, Kiowa and Brussels.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I tried
Which
growing
one
the thornless, but they have a tendency to get later and later, and then with our weather, they kind of lose their effectiveness. At least in my experience, they did. But there's new ones now that may be much more successful.
And then, are you looking for the picture of it?
Oh no, he's getting his resource book.
Oh, you're going to see which one is thornless. Okay, what'd you find?
Navajo was a thornless variety, and I think Natchez is.
Okay, I'm going to look it up. All right.
Looking up in my portable.
Do Natchez
portable
blackberries have
reference.
thorns? And yes, the Natchez blackberry is a thornless variety, making it easier to harvest and maintain. So there we go.
Yeah, and as we were mentioning, I'm going, let me find the answer here.
Okay. But yeah, they sure were pretty. I don't know if they were fragrant. Do you know if they're fragrant or not, the Kiowa?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't noticed that they're that fragrance. The bees, of course, love them.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, 210-308-8867. Hey, we hinted at it, and I was hoping the first James would be able to go. But talk a little bit about if people didn't attend the milkweed seminar because they couldn't do it.
Yeah, well,
There's two more coming up.
Three more
Three
scheduled.
more, that's right.
I had somebody inquire about what was better to take a seeded container or to plant the seed directly, because they knew that the wholesalers or the retailers of the seed thought it was better just to seed directly. So that's one of the issues. If you come to one of the classes, we generally rely on seeded containers, and we give everybody that registers 2 seeded containers so that they can try transplanting and try their favorite varieties. But anyhow, the classes, the next one is April 5th in New Braunfels.
It's 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah. And it is sponsored by the Comal County Master Gardeners. And the phone number for them is, Mark, you got that there? It's on the, of course, it's on the Milberger's website, but it also is 830.
Is it 623-440? Is that right?
Well, I think you can Google it too and get their number.
Yeah. You're calling
Oh,
the.
yeah, that's it. Okay, so, yeah, it's 325 Resource Drive in New Braunfels, and that's off 46. And then the phone number is 830-620-3440.
And then on the 19th, which is Easter weekend, on a Saturday, and at 9:30 a.m. at the Sinkin laboratory over there at SAC. That's another class you could attend. That's in San Antonio on Main. And you can call 210-382-4455 to register there. That's for the 19th. And then the final class for the spring, we think. Of course, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
But the final one is kind of exciting since Milton and my long history with working with the Wilson County News and also with the Wilson County Gardeners out there is that it's going to be at sponsored by the new Master Gardener chapter in Wilson County. And they're going to be on the 8th of May at 6 p.m. 8th of May, 6 p.m. And the address is, it's in Floresville, of course. The address is in the article in the Express News. Also is in the Wilson County News, our newspaper. And then you can call them. There's a phone number there too to call them if you want to reserve a spot. But you can just call. You can call the extension service there in Wilson County if you want to register for them. But that's May 8th, 6 p.m. And of course, for more information, you can call 210-382-4455. Did you find a number for the?
Yeah, and so I'm looking at it with a puzzled look. When did they change the phone number, the zone area code down there?
Oh.
So it's 573.
Oh, wow.
286. What's that? 9. There's some taco spillage there.
Okay,
8953.
So I'm going to make
it's a number of it's a Master Gardener.
Okay, so I'm going to make a suggestion.
Yeah.
Does the nursery site have the phone number too?
Yes.
Okay, so we threw out a lot of different numbers. So just go to milbergernursery.com and you'll find
That's
everything.
right, or the Express News.
Okay.
And it'll all be there.
Okay, so what about that other number, 210-382?
4455.
Yeah, that'll get you.
It's a very, very knowledgeable person there.
Man,
that'll
you
answer.
will not believe the kind of information you'll get from that person.
No, that's my number, and we'll provide you the information you need to get access and reserve a spot. And remember, everybody that attends or registers gets 2 seated containers. And we expect you to report on how the germination goes on, and also any transplanting.
Free is not free.
Well, but it's, you know what, I mean, it's a very pleasant and rewarding homework assignment.
Yes, there you go.
You're contributing to something bigger, plus you're enjoying the.
I think Trace has seen this, and I think that's part of the attraction to those classes.
Well, there's an excitement that they want to help.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
Well, they love the monarchs.
Yeah.
They don't like the fact that we don't know why the population is fluctuating. And then there's an opportunity. Here we are in the mainstream of the migration channel here in Texas and San Antonio and New Braunfels. And here's an opportunity if we provide some milkweed. We can figure out how to get that native milkweed to grow, that we can contribute to the monarchs maintaining their population or even increasing their population.
All right. And it'll be interesting, too, when we talk in just a moment to Dr. Charles Hall after the news about mental health. One of the things that, in gardening together, one of the things I have noticed is, for the most part, people that are gardening are you said that they want to help, Trace said that, are pretty much giving people. They seem to have an attitude of...
they care.
They care, there you go. And they help others. They help, like this project. They want to help with gardening. Or, if you're doing a project out with, like y'all used to do with the library, and we're doing a planting, you get people out there doing that. So, yeah, we'll have to confirm that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Dr. Charles Hall, who's going to be here just about right after the news, and we are going to talk about the impact of gardening and mental health, how they work together. So I'm going to do that tease again. You really do know the answer, but, is gardening good or bad for your mental health. With me, there's so much death, that I it kind of makes me sad sometimes. But you can guess. Calvin
Well, it shows
Elisa's
you have
smoking.
emotions.
What's that? Yes. Oh, there you
It
go.
brings out emotion.
So this is going to be a fun conversation. We'll talk to him in just a second. We'll take a break. Come back in a moment with Millburgers Gardening South Texas, live here at Millburgers at 1604 on Boulevardy Road on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
We're back with Millburgers Gardening South Texas, live from Millburgers Landscaping and Nursery at 1604 in Boulevardy Road. Come out to visit or call us at 210-308-8867. That's 210-308-8867. And now back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
And welcome back to Millburgers Gardening South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. I'm excited about our next guest. A couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I brought up the point that there was a connection between gardening and mental health. And so I called around, and they said, okay, the guy you got to talk to is Dr. Charles Hall. We're going to talk to him right now. Dr. Hall is the professor and Ellison Chair in the International Floriculture in the Department of Horticulture Science and College of Agriculture and Life Science. So up in that.
What university is he at?
I don't know. Have you heard of this guy? Dr. Hall, how are you?
Well, the Dr.
I'm
Hall
good.
I knew, I want to know if he's still alive or not. He was quite a long time ago.
I think gardening has helped him. Are you a gardener,
Dr.
Dr. Hall?
That's exactly right. Gardening is the key to longevity, physically
Honestly,
and mentally.
I think you're absolutely right. When Calvin will talk about these master gardeners, and he'll just bring up these ages that are, they're 80, 90, nearly 100, and still participating. Well,
Exactly.
yeah. Well, Dr. Hall.
And I think, Dr. Hall, you know Mark Peterson, too.
Yeah, I think you do.
Well, I don't
yeah.
know if you did a long time ago. Yeah, when I worked for the system, I worked for the Texas Forest Service, and and
It's been a minute or two.
Yes, it has been a long time.
Well, let's. Okay, so we won't keep the people that are listening waiting anymore.
Right.
How did you get involved with with mental health and gardening? The connection between the two.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm an agricultural economist, so this is not the typical thing that an economist would be looking at. But since I deal a lot with flowers, shrubs, and trees, and the growers and the landscapers and the garden centers that are, installing and maintaining those, I saw our sales of flowers, shrubs, and trees kind of flatlining. We're a maturing industry. It's not like back in the 70s and the 80s when we were growing at double digits every year as an industry. So I said to myself, you know what? We need a better value proposition. We need to not just talk about pretty or talk about nutrition, but we need to talk about some of the functional benefits that plants and greenscapes and gardens provide, and those being the economic benefits, the environmental, what we call ecosystem services benefits, and then lastly, those health and well-being benefits. And when I'm giving my presentations around the country, and I'm talking about those types of benefits, it's really the health and well-being benefits that resonate most with folks in the audience. And I think that's not by chance, because we just came out of a global pandemic, and we saw right in the midst of the pandemic, I had interviews with media all around the country, and they were saying, Charlie, what's the deal with everybody doing more gardening and landscaping? And I said, well, we're staying at home, and we're looking outside, and we're saying, man, I got to do something to improve the aesthetics of my yard. I need to do something with the kids. And so we saw a lot of interest and a lot of folks participating that had not participated before. About 18 to 20 million new gardeners around the country than what we had prior to the pandemic. And what they found was that there are a tremendous number of both physiological benefits and psychological benefits that they experienced while they were gardening.
Yeah, it really is fascinating. You have in this article that you sent me, there is a list of benefits, and some are quite surprising and encouraging, hopeful even, because gardening's wonderful, and if it would have this kind of impact, it's like, wow, okay, that's all I got to do. Actually, that's not fair, but gardening could help me with this.
Well, there's a correlation between the effects that it has in our bodies and the effect it has on our mind and our emotions. For example, cortisol, that's the stress hormone. Well, when we're gardening, when we're outside and we have our hands in the dirt, cortisol levels go dramatically down. So that means that stress levels go dramatically down. So that right away, the gardening is one of the best stress busters that you could engage in in order to be have a better mood, brighter outlook for the day. Gardening's where it's at.
Yeah. Calvin, I think, had a quick question.
Oh, no, I was just wondering how the thing that Mark and I were involved in some of the research a decade ago or so, but one of the things that was amazing to us is how the kids did better at school, and then when we followed through on it, it seemed to be because the parents became more involved with the school, and I was trying to figure out how that fit into the issues you found.
Yeah, in your article, and you can tell me whether I read this right, Dr. Hall. In the article, I was telling Calvin a minute ago, that's just a small portion of the impact that gardening can have on kids. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's true because, first of all, let's just take scholastic performance.
Okay.
The kids that are fortunate enough to have school gardens at their school, the overall level of their performance on standardized tests and their overall grade point average is improved by having school gardens. There are fewer instances of bullying, believe it or not, in those schools that have school gardens. Because, when kids are out there and they got their hands in the dirt, they're less concerned about the clothes that somebody's wearing, what tennis shoes, color of skin. So it's a great social equalizer, and so not only does the incidence of bullying, but particularly in high schools, there's less graffiti, there's fewer anger outbursts, there's fewer visits to the principal's office, and then you tack on the fact that the nutritional profiles, the nutrition of the kids obviously goes up. If they have a hand in growing it, they're going to want to eat it, and then they go home and they influence their parents. And, kids can be persuasive and said, look, this is awesome at school, and we grew these. Can we grow some tomato plants? Can we grow some peppers? And that's in fact, the Junior Master Gardening Program, that was one of the outcomes of their Learn, Eat, Grow, and Go program, was that the nutritional profile of the entire family goes up, not just the kids. Yeah.
Well, and the gardening was the vehicle that brought the parents of this diverse family, the diverse economy, economical situation, cultural situation. But gardening was a kind of we're all together on that. We all value it, and we can all communicate. We'll figure out a way to communicate
and
it.
I think the research touched on that, of bringing the community together where there are community gardens. Well, that's another aspect.
Yeah, and
bringing the whole community, whole neighborhood, not in different levels of socioeconomic.
Yeah. Dr. Hall, talk about the social impact of a community garden and on the people that participate, or just maybe being a master gardener or things like that.
Well, it's actually, you've got all types of gardeners. You got your master gardeners, and you got the younger, less experienced gardeners that are all coming together. And so there's more intergenerational communication and exchanges going on. The old folks teaching the young folks on what they used to do in terms of their gardens, and it's more eyes on the street. And so when we have studied those cities around the country that have really bought in on community gardens, then crime rates go down. You take some of these cities have had to actually hire fewer policemen. They've hired fewer police cars and infrastructure because, again, it's more eyes on the street. There's intergenerational relationships that are forged, and you don't see a lot of crime in the midst of community gardens. You have in certain circumstances, some food disappears, but that's all part of it. Is that those who are in need feel free to come to the community garden and partake, and so there's very little abuse of that goes on around the country. It's been mostly positive in terms of all the outcomes I just talked about.
How does it translate to success in learning science and like environmental issues too? Is it
like STEM?
Oh, yeah.
The increase in STEM aspects in the elementary school. Okay.
It's a huge component of the STEM education, and you mentioned the environmental consciousness. Studies show that kids, when they are exposed to gardening, and they whether it be or landscaping or urban forestry or being out in nature, being outside, the more there's a correlation between them being outside and participating in those activities and their environmental consciousness their entire lives. In other words, those that participate as a kid, they're going to be adults that have a higher level of environmental consciousness than those who don't have the opportunity to do those things.
We're talking to Dr. Charles Hall. He's professor and Ellison Chair in the International Floriculture International Floriculture in the Department of Horticulture Science and the College of Agriculture and Life Science at Bryan College Station. Calvin wanted to know which...
He has to read that, by the way.
Yes, I do have to read that. I wasn't sure we were going to have... Just to kind of poke you a little bit, I said, I'm not sure how much time we'll have for the interview after I read his title. Hey...
I want to warn you that Milton is a graduate of the University of Texas in Austin.
I have a feeling he's okay with that.
Well, we all have our crosses to bear.
There you go. Nice job, Dr. Hall. Okay, so I have a question for you. Tell me whether this sounds correct, that I am guessing that intuitively, because of your involvement in the economics of agriculture and gardening and things like that, that you weren't surprised by the results, but maybe surprised by the extent of how deep it goes and how, like you were talking about, less police and more community involvement and things like that. Is that fair or no?
No, that's a fair statement. In fact, it's we intuitively we know that this is good for us.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the extent to which it affects us physiologically within our bodies and how much better our moods and our emotional well-being is impacted. So yeah, that's a fair statement. And one of the things that I'll emphasize right now is that we owe a lot of gratitude to the medical profession and the psychological profession, because they are the ones that sponsored a lot of this research.
Oh, is that
it
right?
didn't necessarily come from USDA or from the traditional agricultural or horticultural grant funders. This was the medical field that was investigating this, or the psychological field. So when you publish in those types of outlets, I mean, you have to know exactly what the impact is and be able to quantify it. Otherwise, you don't get published. So that's one thing that I have a great deal of confidence in the data that we're talking about, is because it's gone through a fairly rigorous peer review process.
Yeah, it sounds like it. We'll do a lightning round here. I'm going to bring up an issue, and you tell me the impact that gardening had on it. So, like anxiety and stress.
Yeah, that goes down. Cortisol levels in the body go way down. Yep. Attention
deficit.
Yeah, in fact, the attention deficit theory is that when we're outside gardening, our attention spans, having used that up, once we engage in gardening, that attention span is restored much more quickly.
Okay. How about depression?
Yep. Instances of depression go way down when you got your hands in the dirt.
Yep. Now, actually, what I've seen, and this is on the internet, so I don't know how true it is, supposedly, I've seen this twice now, in soil there is a bacteria that when you breathe it in because you're working in it, actually increases serotonin, but I don't know whether that's right or not. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it does, and I guess I shouldn't keep saying dirt. I should say soil.
Soil, yeah.
But there's the mycorrhizae, and the whole soil microbiome is beneficial to us, to our bodies in terms of increasing and boosting our immunity functions. But just being outside doing that boosts levels of serotonin in the body. So it's a peaceful feeling that we feel as part of that.
I suppose that means then that I should probably quit my detailed research about comparing the effect of gardening and positive effect of gardening versus the positive effect of drinking Irish whiskey.
I think gardening's probably overall better for you.
Is that true, Dr. Hall? Are you comfortable with that?
At the same time.
You could see he has got solutions.
He
Calvin.
must know my wife.
Instead of a double blind, it's
it's a double shot.
Yeah.
How about PTSD, Dr. Hall?
Yeah, communities that have gone through either the effects of hurricanes or tornadoes or some other acts of God, they recover much more quickly when they have community green spaces that they can go and they can participate in the community gardens or parks, or just being outside with each other is very recuperative.
Does that go for military service as well?
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, there's an outstanding clinic there in San Antonio.
That's what I was just going to mention.
Wounded Warriors, and it's kind of a showcase for those types of sites around the country. And those soldiers that have come back from war with PTSD effects, those programs or the facilities that have programs in gardening and healing gardens, those soldiers recover much more quickly than those that don't have access to those spaces.
That's so cool. And the one that surprised me when I was reading this, it's like, oh my gosh, that's wonderful, is the impact on dementia.
Yeah. So I lost my own father to dementia. I grew up in the nursery business, and when we could get Dad outside, just potting up a houseplant or something. He was like the old dad again, joking around and one-liners. But then as soon as he got inside and not outside anymore, without his hands being in the soil, it was hardly the semblance of the man that I grew up with. So I've experienced that one firsthand.
Wow.
And the research backs it up, that dementia patients, they remember their memories enhanced by as much as 25%. They remember people's names better. They are less prone to anger outbursts and so forth. And get this, those Alzheimer's and dementia clinics that have healing gardens, the turnover of staff and doctors is also dramatically reduced because they have access to those spaces as well.
Very interesting.
Well, that's consistent with the long-term relationships we have with the teachers and that have been involved in the Master Gardeners and in the Monarch Butterfly program, and It just seems like the same. They're interested in those topics and stay with them and just continue to contribute to the community and to the horticulture.
I experienced that same thing with my father.
Okay, yeah.
When he was in
That's
dementia.
fascinating.
Yes.
It really is. Do they have a theory as to why it seems to help?
Well, it's the physiological, the chemical reactions within
Okay.
our body which affect our brain, and it's just a positive influence, both physically and mentally and emotionally and cognitively.
This is so interesting. I'm sure glad we had you on. Any guys, do you have any other questions?
Well, I hear the siren in the background.
Yeah, they're coming for Calvin.
Yeah, we need more community gardens, right? So we have fewer sirens.
Ooh, I like that. And I am curious too. This is my last question, and then I'm going to ask you to kind of promote yourself a bit. Does it seem to matter whether you're doing decorative floral gardening or if you're growing vegetables and fruits and vegetables? Does it seem to be one has a greater impact than the other?
No, they both have similar impacts on the body and the mind. Yeah, so either case, depending on age and demographics, there could be some differences in which one they typically prefer. But regardless of whether it's edible or ornamental, it's effective.
Well, this has been absolutely great. If our listeners want more information on you and your research, or just on the topic in general, where do you suggest they find it?
Yeah, I've got a great website that talks about the benefits of plants and gardening and green spaces. And if they just Google Charlie Hall, Texas A&M, it's the first thing that pops up. It's search engine optimization, right?
Yeah,
so
your
it's
SEO.
not hard to find. And I've got a button on my website. They just click on that button, the benefits of plants and green spaces, and it takes them to all this and more. I mean, I teach an entire semester of all this stuff.
Oh, cool.
So we've just scratched the surface of all the benefits that gardening and green spaces provide. So I encourage folks, just Google Dr. Charlie Hall, Texas A&M, and it'll be the first website that pops up. Click on that, and then there's a special button on there that talks about those benefits.
Okay, is that the? I'm trying to find it here. So yeah, I see your bio page.
Website. Yeah.
Okay. Is that the A&M website, the Horticulture Science or Horta Science at tamu.edu?
Correct.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Yeah, the Ellison chair. Okay. Well, I'll find it, and if not, we'll maybe we can share the link. But this has been great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is so fast.
I always talk about the link ellisonchair.tamu.edu.
Oh, is that it?
It's super simple. Just Google Charlie Hall, Texas A&M.
Okay, well, I did go to UT, so I may make things more complicated.
Milton can't do anything simple.
Dr. Hall, thank you so much. This has been absolutely great.
Well, it's been good to hear from you again.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Yep. Good to talk to you guys. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you for coming on. All right.
Bye, Dr. Hall.
We're going to take a quick break. While we do, give us a call, 210-308-8867. Tell us what you thought of the interview. Back in a moment on 9, or maybe you've got a story to share on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Milberger's Gardening, South Texas on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 210-308-8867. What?
Stop playing with your phone. You'd be on time a little
What's
bit
that?
more. Stop playing with your phone.
Stop it. I was thanking Dr. Hall.
Oh, okay.
I was sending him an email. And I do want to thank him. I'm sure he's listening online for a terrific interview. That was absolutely great. So we are going to now visit with Bert on the line. Bert from Chalmette on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. What's going on, Bert?
Hey, and I was so glad to tune in at just today's for sure. Because I was a wounded warrior at BAMC, and I was part of that program, the horticulture.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I didn't mention where it was, Bert, but that's where it is. It's at BAMC. And we have to have a little section already just called the Wounded Warrior Garden. It's very nice. very, very accessible and everything, so everyone can participate in it.
So
yeah,
if you were,
I combined mine with livestock. I bought a horse and I helped with sheep and goats at the Fort Sam Houston stables and stuff. And
Yeah,
I found out that both of them work good for me. Hello? Anybody home?
No.
there we go.
There we are. Okay. Mel was having a little trouble.
Yeah. So if you were going to give a kind of a review, and you don't say anything you're not comfortable talking about, I understand, but talk to us about kind of where you were before you got involved in the program, how the program worked, and kind of where you came out. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I got blown up in Iraq and got medevac here, so it took about a year before I could get a half year or so much on and off to get through their physical therapy and all that stuff. And then I found out about that. It's called the Soldiers and Family Assistance Center, and we called it the WolfSack. It was the Warrior Family Assistance Center, and they had all kinds of programs, and they got you involved, and you started with their little gardens around there, and then they had a livestock type of program with equines, and so I got involved with the gardens there, just helping to tend and keep the garden. That's why I think it fits real well with human beings, is because that's our ultimate design, is to work with plants. I just happen to believe that.
You may be right.
Up on a farm. Go ahead.
Oh, I said you may be right. I think you're right.
So I just got into it. I think it's a combination of everything. Just being around the plants make you feel good. Then you're working to tend them and to get your body moving. So automatically you're feeling good. You're focusing on the plants. You're focusing on yourself and your body movements. And you're stretching. You're pushing yourself a little bit. Oh,
yeah. I forgot about the physical part. That's important.
Yeah. And then just walk. Like I used to walk. That's what helped me too. Because from Bamsey to the stables was like about a 5-6 mile walk round trip.
Yeah.
Walk, take care of my horse, and then walk back. So, and then in the daytime, that was my place of duty, was helping to tend the garden.
Were you surprised at the impact it had on you?
Just with the horse, because when I was a child, I grew up on a vegetable farm. Well, my grandfather had a vegetable farm. I was from Chalmette, but it was way down in, I don't know if you know where St. Bernard is, or Toka, St. Bernard. It's not quite to Delaware Island, where the shrimpers go in and out of. But so on the weekends, every weekend, I'd go down to the farm. And Grandpa, we only had 3 TV channels. He was like, before we watch television, we go out and tend the farm. And it was like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was already had a mindset for it, so to speak.
Okay. But the horses did surprise you. I'm so glad. This is wonderful hearing from you. So can I switch the subject for a second, Bert?
Go for what you know.
Okay. So you mentioned was it your grandfather that had the farm?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we had a call earlier that was talking about advice. I can't remember if it was his mother or his grandmother gave him on growing tomatoes. That was James.
One of the James, and I think that was James South.
So
South James.
And using the phrase the old timers had it right. What advice did your grandfather give you that you still keep today?
Just keep the garden clean as possible. Mulch everything that you can, but we didn't mulch too much in southeast Louisiana because it would rot and turn to, then you had mold and white flies and such. And so it just a lot of maintenance. That's what it was. I know what a tough row to hoe is.
Oh, okay. It's not just an expression for you, huh?
Not exactly at all. I did it. And on many rows, it was, because we couldn't mulch. And that was the other thing, was when it rained and it poured, you had to make sure to keep the furrows clean of debris so the drainage from the mound, it wouldn't set up also, because then you get root rot.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they have that too much here, a problem.
No, I don't think the rains are, although, Bert, it's tonight, 30% chance it's going to rain. And they've moved Thursday to 70% chance of rain.
Hey, well, look, with all the cracks I see in Sister Earth, I think it's going to get plucked up right quick.
Oh, you're right. I bet you're right. Well, Bert, thank
the
you for
only other
calling.
thing, I got one thing to say. Even though I'm moving and I can't have an outside garden this year, I've turned my attention and my focus to better understanding and learning to grow indoor plants that are beneficial. And instead of onions and garlic, I'm having onion chives and garlic chives. And I wanted to ask you, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I wanted to ask you, what's the sweet little cherry tomato, patio tomato, and then the fruit trees? Do y'all have bitter orange? That's the only two questions I have. What's a good sweet patio tomato? Do you have the bitter oranges?
Are you doing these inside or on a patio?
The fruit trees are going to be on the outside of the doors, which is over covered.
Okay.
But the bush tomato, the patio tomato, I have a ledge on the balcony that I made up out of I took I took a closet organizer and I extended it out of my balcony, so I got a bunch of plants out there. I got an aloe vera that's I can't even get my arms around it.
Well, find a Ruby Crush, and if you can find something that tastes better than the Ruby Crush.
Wasn't available.
Oh, yeah.
But
someday we'll have
I'll just call up the store. I'll just call up the store to see if they got the bitter orange. I like bitter. I'm making marmalade. I done bought a case of.
So you're referring to Calamundan would be the cooking orange.
That's a wonderful one because of the weather tolerance too.
Yeah, Calamundan's pretty easy.
Calamundan.
But that's your cooking orange. I assume that's the one you're talking about.
And just as attractive.
I wasn't not sure. I just know that I had tried when I was in Europe Station that they had a bitter orange marmalade, and I really like that over the sweet sugary one.
It's got to be that one.
Yeah, and that's one you can grow. I don't know.
And what's it called? Calendula?
Calamundan. C-A-L-A-M. Am I spelling it right?
You're asking the worst speller in the world.
Okay.
Calamundan.
Calamundan.
Okay. I got it.
If you can't find it, tell us, and we'll get it to you.
And I got the doctor's website on the screen now as well. So I'm gonna look that up.
Shoot him a quick note. I think he'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you, Bert. Always good talking to you. 210-308-8867. If you've got a comment on the interview, if you've got a gardening question, what is going on this beautiful day in your gardening world? We want to know. How can we help you? 210-308-8867, or like those nice people that were here with Calvin. They had a gardening question, but we were talking to Bert. So what was their question?
Well, they were looking for a hedge about 8 feet tall in the shade. And, of course, the obvious one, Burford Holly is one of my favorites. And then there were several other hollies that they could choose from. But viburnum, there's also a couple of viburnums that would fit into that. They didn't have any deer problems.
Good.
Or any deer issues, so it was just a matter of, and then, of course, the hollies, like the Burford holly, it doesn't require much pruning. As long as you get it established, it's very drought tolerant and very attractive plant.
All right. 210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. All right. So what else, gentlemen? Well, we can either take a break or you want to?
This morning you asked me about what we talked about yesterday.
Yeah, so what did you talk about yesterday at the meeting?
It was a very long conversation about fertilizers.
About fertilizer, okay.
So we went through all kinds of aspects of it, starting with synthetic versus organic.
Mm-hmm.
And my explanation to them was if you go to the Olive Garden and you order your favorite meal, lasagna or whatever that might be, and you get it out, you eat it, it tasted great, do you care whether the cook was Italian?
Okay.
Okay, most people are going to say no. So the plant does not care whether it's organic or synthetic. It just cares that it got nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, and iron.
Okay.
So it started with that, and then we talked about water solubles. Water solubles are always best if the person has the memory to do it. So they have to be done every 2 weeks to keep any kind of real results going.
And what's an example of a water soluble?
Super Bloom, Miracid, Bloom Booster, BR61.
The old days, Miracle Grow.
Yeah.
Well, some of those are Miracle products. And we talked about plants can't read.
Oh.
Okay, so again, all they care about is nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, and in most cases, iron. So it doesn't matter what a fertilizer says it does. The numbers tell you what it's going to tell the plant to do.
Okay.
So again, water solubles were every 2 weeks, and if they had a good enough memory to do that, that's always best. And if they don't, then we talked about slow release fertilizers like Osmocote, and it also went into our 1959 being slow release. So we talked about that one and when people should actually use it. And you know what that is, Milton?
When people, after they've mowed twice?
After they've had to mow their grass twice and weeds don't count, then it's awake enough to use it. You know why we say that?
Why?
Because nitrogen is either used or leached within the first 3 months.
Oh.
So if they put it out prematurely, half their nitrogen is not even there when the grass actually can utilize it.
Although the weeds love it.
Oh.
Although right now even the weeds are transition.
The weeds are kind of like going
And
water.
We went a little further into what's best in pots, what's best in ground situations. And the biggest thing I wanted to emphasize is it doesn't matter what the label says it's for. You can determine that very easily by what the numbers are.
All right, so there's 3 numbers.
Correct?
What's the first number?
Nitrogen.
All right, so I want nitrogen.
For green.
Okay, to green up and be stronger? Or
Sure.
because we'll talk about how certain vegetables are really demand nitrogen and things like
Right.
that.
Who other crops want it?
Okay. Second one is?
Phosphorus.
Okay, and what is phosphorus?
Root growth and blooming.
Okay.
So if you want something to bloom, you are going to use a real high phosphorus fertilizer, or at least spiked.
Okay.
If it's spiked, then that's what it's designed for.
And I assume that also impacts tomatoes because they bloom and
Gotta have a bloom to get fruit.
Okay. And the third number?
There is a small problem with phosphorus. It doesn't move very well.
With phosphorus?
Yeah, phosphorus. So you want to get it to where the roots are.
Get it where? What? Sorry.
Get it right where the roots are.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's good early when you're planting your tomatoes. You want the potash, the phosphorus right there.
Okay.
So a lot of people use even like rock phosphate in the hole beforehand. So that they
Yeah,
get
I've
the
heard them
phosphorus
talk about
content.
that. And they'll use Epsom salts also in the hole?
So yeah, I've heard it. David suggests it for freeing up the calcium so that the tomatoes don't get blossom end rot.
Oh, okay. And then also, what's the third number?
Potash, and it's fairly natural.
Okay.
So it's not really one so first number, second number, and the iron content are the critical ones.
Okay. Very cool. All right, and you have Osmocote on sale.
We
by
do.
the way, I knew that, so
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not why you said it.
No.
But yeah. All right.
No.
2 pound
I know
bag.
myself, so my memory is very poor.
Oh.
So almost everything at my house gets Osmocote.
Yeah, that's good. All righty. Cool. Thank you, Trace. We're going to take a quick break. While we do, give us a call, 210-308-8867. We'll have Pat on when we come back at 9:30 a.m. The Answer. And welcome back to Millburgers Gardening, South Texas. Going to get to Pat in just a second, but James did do some more research on the hummingbird. Here's what he has to say. After reviewing several sites online, I believe the hummingbird I encountered this morning was a very mature male black-chinned. The purple ring around his throat was very pronounced, unlike any that I've seen before. And he also suggests that dried chili pekin sprinkled into ramen noodles works wonders for sinus allergies.
Oh, so it was not the violet?
No, he didn't. Well, no, he didn't think so.
Oh, darn.
Well, Pat, thanks for coming up. It's always fun to visit with you. What's going on?
A lot of stuff is going on already because everything's starting to green up and grow. So the question is on the tomatoes. So we're ready to put the tomatoes that we got at the class last month. We're ready to put them into the raised bed. And so I have a bag, and it's about 5 years old. We never used it. Fertilizer, and I guess it was more for the lawn, but it's high nitrogen. So is that a good fertilizer to put into the raised beds where we're growing tomatoes?
Yeah, well, it depends on, is it 1959, or is it? Do you know what the formula was?
I think it is 1959.
1959. Yeah,
I think that's what we told you about a month ago.
Okay.
Use that.
Good.
So,
10.
but the question was, what are you putting in to the raised beds?
Tomatoes. But
No,
there'll be
no,
other.
what kind of soil?
Oh, it's already in there. It's
Okay.
it's
All right.
Gardenville.
Okay.
Gardenville soil.
Okay.
10 cups per 100 square feet.
Yeah. And what do we have? We have 4 times 8, 32 square feet. So 3 cups. 3 cups per bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you didn't think you'd ever use that algebra?
Second question. So the trumpet vine that we chatted about 2 months ago. So that's in the ground. It's growing.
Oh, good.
And it's looking great. So same fertilizer for the trumpet vine?
I would be.
No.
That trumpet vine can be aggressive, so I don't know if I would encourage it.
So maybe we don't fertilize it because it's in good soil.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in really good soil.
What do you think of it? That's why I think you were hesitating.
I wouldn't fertilize it at all until later. Once it starts growing and there's a limited growth. But I'm with Mark. I don't think you'll ever see a limited growth from a trumpet tree.
Well, it's got full sun and it's on a trellis, cattle panel trellis.
Yeah. If anything that'll give you a little control over it is an advantage. So don't. Yeah, I wouldn't put waste fertilizer on it.
Got it. They make horror movies about stuff like that. We trimmed everything back as we always do, and the one thing that never died out was the autumn sage. Yeah. And so, is there value in? I was thinking, just to go ahead and give it a good haircut, maybe 50% off.
I do. I never worry about it. But it is the Salvia gregae autumn sage has a unique feature of doing a little extra blooming in the latter part of the fall and even in the wintertime. So,
it did do great.
Yeah.
It did do great.
So that's a nice thing on it. But yeah, I'd give it a little pruning. Otherwise, it gets too leggy.
Yeah, and you can.
Got it. Which is what we don't want.
Yeah. We used to recommend that we cut it back every couple of years all the way to the ground.
Every 3 years, go out, all the way to the ground. Yeah.
It's the butterflies love it too, and the bees.
I gave you a photo of the raised beds, and what you may or may not have noticed is I have cedar mulch all around on the ground. Yeah. There's a nice layer of cedar mulch. Now, what about a mulch? What's a good mulch for the vegetable garden? Can you use cedar mulch for the vegetable garden?
I wouldn't use cedar mulch.
Okay. How about oak leaves? I got like bags.
Definitely oak leaves. Now,
oak leaves?
So, what are you using the mulch for? Around the raised beds?
On the ground.
Yeah.
All
right. Yeah. So cedar's good. Pine bark is also good.
Okay.
There's a reason why. The cedar net has natural chemicals.
Got it.
And the pine bark is made. Starts out with an L. I'm sorry, that memory. I had to do some more gardening, I guess. Anyway, it's a non-carbohydrate, non-cellulose.
Got it.
And it lasts a lot longer.
The pine bark.
The pine bark
Got
does.
It.
So,
Got it.
So it's nice to, and it has a nice aroma, but it lasts a lot longer because there are not a lot of organisms that decompose it.
That will decompose it. Yeah. All right. But oak leaves.
Is that the pine versus the cedar?
Well, the cedar is a shredded cedar because it has the chemicals in the cedar. So it's usually shredded cedar.
Okay.
But pine bark is also nice for the very same reason. It lasts a long time.
And
but in terms of the vegetable beds, the raised beds, the mulch in there?
I don't put any mulch in my raised beds.
Oh, okay.
Do you put any mulch in?
No, I don't.
Sorry, no, I don't think.
But you could put the live oak leaves in between the rows.
Yeah.
If you wanted to,
So
paths.
That would be an additional one.
No, I wouldn't put them on the. I like my wife likes the cedar. So.
Okay.
Oh gosh,
yeah. I just live there. I don't really make any decisions.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Lesson we learned.
Yeah, I made decisions in the first marriage. The second marriage, I learned. Anyway, so don't do anything.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's my last question.
Cool. Well, thank you, man. Always good visiting with you.
It's always fun to be here. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I got to go look at more vines.
Go look at more vines. Cool.
Take her easy.
All right, watch your head. All right.
Yeah.
210-308-8867. 210-308-8867. Still have time. Oh, I see Lulu. Lulu's here. I recognize her by the hat. But yeah, so give us a call and be a part of the show. Uh-oh.
The second delay worked.
Yeah, that's fun. All right. What else, Calvin? What's going on? Talk about your classes real quick.
We've got 3 classes still scheduled on April 5th at 9 a.m. at the Master Gardener headquarters in Comal County. We'll have a class, and then again in the 19th of April at the Sinkin Laboratory here in San Antonio on Main, and that's at 9:30 a.m. And then a new class is scheduled for Floresville for the new chapter of the Master Gardeners in Wilson County, and that's at 6 p.m. on May 8th. And if you want more information, go to the Express News on Saturday. The paper has the specifics, and and some of the local newspapers also have them. And then the website. The Milberger's website has information on all of the classes and also the phone numbers to reserve a spot and the addresses. If you want those
that's
specifics.
millburgernursery.com. All right, Lulu. Hey, you want to come on the air with us? Did you get to grab that mic? You know how we do this. Did you get to hear that interview?
Oh yes, that was
incredible. Did that ring true?
And I totally agree with everything he said. I grew up with my grandparents. When I was little, my grandparents taught me everything about gardening, and they lived into their 90s, and they were sharp as a tack, and we were always digging in the dirt, or I should say soil.
And as a teacher, have you noticed a difference in kids that get out there and garden?
I tell you what, those children, even if it's just one tiny plant or a few seeds that they're planting, they always tell me, I love gardening.
Oh, that's
wonderful. Love being out here. And the parents are always so thrilled, and they'll text and tell me how much their child is enjoying it. And, I mean, that brings joy to my heart, but I'm so happy to see those little ones just, wanting to be outside and doing stuff. And when they're at recess and I walk by, they run, oh, can I water the garden?
Really?
Oh, that's what I planted. Oh, do you see that? That's coming up. And then they'll talk about with their friends, this is what the flower's going to look like, and this is what, the host plant is. And so it's wonderful. I mean, they get involved in, memory and all of that, and just the joy of being out there.
Inspiring, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do you see better grades and better participation in the class and things like that? Or?
Well, you know what? My kids who were involved, just even playing outside and getting in the dirt, they seem a lot more interactive. Whenever we were doing anything that had to do with our plant unit, they were totally into it, and everyone did very well academically.
So I have another question, but I know we're running out of time. Did you have a question you want to talk to us about?
Oh, no. I was just happy to be here and looking at the Greg's Miss flower and getting ready to do the next butterfly. The queen, who goes crazy about it.
Why do you think the kids get so passionate about gardening and the gardening that y'all are doing?
Oh, well, they get to see life. I mean, from one stage to the other, and they get to see an interaction with all the different, animals that are attracted to it.
It maybe isn't a control, but it is at least a understanding of life. Yeah. But a lot of people interpret it as some kind of feel for control, that you have more control over life when you know about gardening and the environment.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that because the kids are creating something and it's coming to fruition, and they were a part of it. They've got ownership in its success. So I imagine that's very rewarding in terms of how they feel about it. Is I grew this tomato. I
get to pick that tomato and eat it. Yep. And we always make sure that they have that kind of experience as well.
Cool. All right, 210-308-8867. Uh-oh, you helped us close down the show. Thank you, Lulu.
Thank you, Lulu. Good to see you.
All right, we're going to say goodbye for today. But thanks to Al for doing a great job. Thanks to you for listening. Join us next week, 210-308-8867. Just Millburgers at 1604 on Boulevardy Road. I'm Milton Glick. Bye-bye.